All right, y'all hear me okay? All right, so my name is Sarah Dutkiewicz, also known as Saduki. You may have seen some videos about MSPGeekCon and how awesome this is about to be. Um, so I am coordinating lightning talks both today and tomorrow, so you will see me. I actually have a talk today. We do have the talks listed in Whova. We may not stick to that order depending on who's in the audience and which speakers are ready to go. Now that said, if you're a speaker, I want you to, I'll tell you who's on deck so that while he's changing the AV and getting it back up again, I'll be like, okay, I'm going to talk. Where's Ray? Ray, you're going to be on deck, so let's have you come wait over here because these are going to be lightning talks are fast. The other thing I want to point out is there's a gentleman right here in the front row. He is pint-sized. His name is Owen, but he has the countdown timer for 7 minutes. If you're a speaker, at 7 minutes, his sound will go off and you need to be done. Cut off. There's one exception, and that's tomorrow. So yes, Owen will be our annoying one. He will tell you he's intentionally annoying, and that's just because that's his job today. All right, so I want to talk about why community matters, and then we'll have Ray. And then after Ray, let's see, do I see Tim in here? Okay, then Tim, you'll come after Ray. And then, did Ash make it in yet? Oh, she did say she's not going to do it? Okay. Well, that's fine. So then we'll have Tim, and then after Tim will be Brittany. And then after Brittany will be Heather. And then after Heather will be Martin. And then after Martin will be Adam. There he is. Okay. All right, so a quick change up on that. So I'm going to talk about why community matters. So Owen, go ahead and start the time. Thank you, sir. All right. So why does community matter? Why do we care? So the whole point of being connectors, I have to start with this because I have to explain. I am not an MSP. I am not an exhibitor. I am not a vendor. I'm a software architect by trade. So I'm not even an event organizer professionally. I've been an event organizer 15 years, but that's a community-run event thing. It's what I do. I love community. But my role as a connector is to have my feet in all sorts of worlds and then bring them together. So hi, I'm Saduki. My name, Sarah Dutkiewicz, is a mouthful, so that's why I go by Saduki. I've been Saduki for 20 years now. If you guys know Kevin with the hat, you'll have recognized the hat on the lead slide. I'm his wife, but I'm a connector. I'm also an introvert, so don't see this energy like, oh my God, she's just go, go, go. At the end of the day, I crash, I promise you. But I'm here because Kevin is in the MSP space. But I've been organizing community events for 15 years. So I've seen a lot of different communities, not just my own, but ones that I wasn't familiar with. But like I said, the job that pays the bills is software architecture and software development. Now you're probably wondering, why should I care? I don't want a people today, because that's how we do. I mean, sometimes peopling is a lot, especially if we have to deal with troubleshooting users' issues all day long. Between the people and the having to troubleshoot things. Well, one of the things that we like about community is it fulfills that sense of belonging and finding your place and finding your people. So 2 things on this. So geese are usually in flocks, so they have their people. They know that they belong. Now the story I have for the guy on that side, the far side from me, so his name is Logan. In that picture, he was probably about 6 years old. And I didn't realize that he had that sense of belonging that was going. I was organizing a hackathon at NASA Glen, and I had told him, pack his Switch. So you've seen my boys playing their Switch. I said, pack your Switch, do what you want to do to play, just don't cause a lot of trouble. I found him in the kitchen, he was loading the cart. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, Mama, I see what you do. He's like, I want to help too. He wanted that sense of belonging. And so he was loading up snacks because it was snack time, and he felt like everybody else needed snacks. So at that point I realized, oh, my kids really want to volunteer at tech events. Well, I should put them to work. So that's why they're here. But we want a sense of belonging. And when we're in a community, you find people and you realize why you belong, that you belong in those communities. The other thing that is why community matters is because it's a good support system. It does take a village. You're not alone. 2 stories real quick. So the far picture, the tents, so that's what's happening at what we call Cleveland Give Camp, where we donate our time for a weekend, and they actually camp. Now, what you don't see in the picture is that there's this big ship. It was kind of like a barge-like ship over there, and there's an airport on this side of that picture. That's Burke Lakefront Airport. but they shut down the airport part so we could actually donate our time and help nonprofits, building websites and getting them up to speed. So we're there to support the nonprofit community, we're there to support our local community, we're there to support each other. In this picture, these are some developers and project managers and architects who all drove to Michigan, and we were in a camp. And so we had two cabins, the guys' cabin, the girls' cabin. The girls ended up crashing in the guys' cabin because there's like 2 girls and 30-some guys. Typical ratio for us in tech. But what was nice about that is, you see, techs can see the sun. But it's a support system because we were talking about the things that we do in our systems that make our lives easier and how we can help structure things to move better, how we can talk with developers and how we can talk with the business people, get everybody on the same page. So we're there to support each other, support techies, but we're also there to support our local communities and our regional communities as well. All right, so community, why does it matter? Shared interests. I love this part because I have a story. So there's Will's miniatures. If you were at D&D, I'm sure you saw some of those. And I'm sure some of you may have placed orders for beef jerky. If you did, let me tell you, the house smelled heavenly, so thank you for your orders. But again, these are just some of the interests here. Gaming. So how many of you were in the game room last night? Yeah. Did you hear how loud it got in there? Did you hear that energy and seeing the people play games? Such a great sense of community in there. So why do you do this? Because you want to find people who might have the same interests as you. So as an organizer of MSP GeekCon, I have to sit on calls bi-weekly. And I knew one of the gentlemen on the call, like I knew of him, but I didn't really see like the energy. It was like, oh yeah, this is another call. But then when we had him paint these, holy cow, he lit up, he found his people. And when you find your people, when you have those shared interests, you light up, it's good, you want to be in that. All right, so why does community matter? Because you're making a difference. So you have small actions, big results. Stories here. So FAR one and this one are from International Space Apps Hackathon at NASA. The FAR one is, there's a Children's Saturday event, and they were doing things to help encourage people to clean up the ocean pollution. And then here they were talking about the future of habitats in space, like having space houses. But again, these are big ideas, and we have some small steps toward how do we solve them. Again, helping our communities in the process. The last point I have for how community matters is it's really good overall for your health. How many of you saw the keynote this morning with Jason and Ben? Yeah. So you know that health will come up in there somewhere. And I also have to point out the Hacking Your Health podcast, which is Ben and Dave Kennedy. So you could find your people and your community and also be better health-wise. What I love most about the whole community thing is at the end of the day or end of the game, we get to celebrate. And we get to celebrate together. And that's something that you're going to see throughout MSP GeekCon, because this year our theme is celebration. So I want to thank you all for your time, and let's celebrate.